Hey everyone, this is your favorite radio host, Corinne Lafont, here again on Between the Lines. I'm talking with Angelina Asante. If I make the mistake and say Angela, she will forgive me. I don't know why Angela is stuck in my head, but it's Angelina, not Angelina Jolie. This is Angelina Asante, but she is even more beautiful than Angelina Jolie. Okay? And today we're going to be talking about how Indies has changed. She's laughing how Indies has changed the publishing or literary world. And why could she speak about that? Because she is on the board of directors for FAPA, F-A-P-A, F as in fish, A as in apple, P as in, I don't know, whatever, A as in apple again. So I'm going to be showing you the website, and we're going to be talking a bit about how Indies has changed the world. She's going to be sharing her expertise. We're going to be walking through some websites where you will get resources, links, etc., etc. You know how we do it on Between the Lines. I'm going to share a bit about Angelina. She is a Massachusetts native and always had a passion for writing, but didn't think it was a viable career option. After brief stints in stand-up comedy, oh my God, I didn't know that, and radio, she decided to write her first book in 2013. She wrote her two comedic fiction novels. Betty Ford allowed her in their facility, Betty Ford, to do the research for the latter one. She was working on a third when she was diagnosed with cancer. She decided, it's always a challenge, she decided it was a perfect time to pen her first nonfiction humor novel, and that book, Thank God I Got Cancer. I'm not a hypochondriac anymore. So it's Which is the Worst, The Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. Went on to win 2 national awards and became a finalist in the International Reader's Favorite Contest, as well as becoming a #1 bestseller. Really, thank God she got cancer. She was also featured on television several times, had a couple features in the newspaper, and has been interviewed on the radio for her book. For the last 2 years, she has been on the board of directors for the Florida Authors and Publishers Association, FAPA, F-A-P-A, and is now president-elect of that association. Woohoo to Angelina. So, sorry, my coughing has started. So I'm going to do a share screen here so that you can see the site. This is the Florida chapter of the International, what do you call it, the Independent Book Publishers Association. So that should be showing on your screen now.
It's the Independent Book Publishers Association.
Right, so this is a Florida chapter of the IBPA, and I'm going to be showing you what the IBPA is looking like in a little while. And I want to show you how lovely Angelina Asante is. So I'm bringing up that she is on the board of directors just to show you proof. Oh, it's giving me a hard time here. The connection. So let me see if I can wait a minute and go back. Boy, this thing wants to embarrass me at this point. So let me try board of directors again. And here we go. That's for not giving up, yeah? So board of directors is supposed to be coming up now. And there's the lovely Angelina Asante, not Angelina Jolie. So she's president-elect of HAPA, okay? And this is the Florida chapter. And I was quite intrigued that they have a book awards coming up soon. So she's going to be talking a bit about that, because I need to check out that for myself and my clients. As you know, I'm also a publisher, self-publishing consultant. So I help persons to write their books. I do everything from start to finish, including marketing, the whole publishing gamut. And people may not know that, but yes, I do that. Besides my radio show, you just know me as a radio host, but I do a lot of other things that are secret. So Angelina, welcome to Between the Lines.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. So you're on the board of directors for FAPA, which is the Florida chapter of the Independent Book Publishers Association. Let me see if I can switch sharing to that here now. Let me see how I do that so that I can switch. Let me see if I can switch to that. Are you seeing that?
I am.
So yes. You're seeing the ibpa.online.org. You're seeing that?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yep, I'm seeing it.
Wonderful. So this is well, I know of IBPA because I'm in the publishing industry. So this is where we are. And I want people to realize that they can get resources and there's a store here. And if you want to find out more about Indies publishing, there's a lot of information here. Is that correct, Angelina?
Yes, yes, there's a lot of information. It's great for indie authors, but also there's a lot of small press. The mid-range publishers are really dominating the market right now. That's coming away from New York, where it all used to happen with the big five, and
Mm-hmm.
they're losing huge market shares to up and coming mid-range presses.
When people mention the big five, who are those big five people that you all keep talking about?
Okay, well, there's Simon and Schuster, and there's Hatchet, and I can't. I had that open. I'm trying to find it on my thing.
That's okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I don't have
That's
the
okay.
other.
That's okay. When we get to it, we'll get to it. But we know
Okay.
there's some big name ones, yeah?
Right. They were the ones that have dominated. Actually, it was more than that. There was a time that there was about 32. So your big ones now are going to be Simon and Schuster, HarperCollins, Penguin, Random House, and Hatchet. So those are really the big four in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Those are major trade groups, and Macmillan. The problem with a lot of these people is the smaller ones got bought out by Amazon. Amazon is just a force in the market, and they are buying and acquiring everything.
Yes, yes.
So, and the problem is I don't know what kind of book deals they give people, but I know as an indie, and I know in the indie market, they control a lot of the market share for indie authors. So that's why people are going to Ingram Spark and places like that to do distribution instead of using Amazon, especially now with the third-party selling that they've been allowing. Third-party people are coming into Amazon. Even if I'm an indie, I'm listed on Amazon, and they'll allow some Joe Schmo. There was a lady selling my books. Bread Baker Julie, some lady who sells bread, was selling my books.
Yeah,
Amazon
I noticed that. I noticed that. When I wonder who those people are, because when you publish your book there, from the time you publish it, you see right under your pricing, like
right.
under the cover, you would see XYZ has it for this price, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Who are these people?
Yeah.
How can you avoid that? How can you avoid that?
I hate to say it, we all need to tell Amazon to kiss off, and we need to use something else. So we go Ingram Spark. That's who we recommend. There's other sources, Baker and Taylor. There's other distribution sites that you can use. We really, really want to get off of Amazon, because Amazon just dominates, and it's not a loyalty issue. They don't have any loyalty to the indies who upload the books there. They're making a killing off of us, and they're not loyal to us. They're letting third-party sellers go in and take our money. It's a shame too, because self-published books represent 31% of all the ebook sales on Kindle.
Wow.
So, and our authors are earning 40% of all of the ebook dollars on Amazon.
Wow. Yeah, I've been noticing that, and I really don't like that. And I wonder how can we get around doing that? So you're suggesting Ingram Spark. What about Lightning Source and those?
So Lightning Source is the POD, print on demand, that is owned by Ingram Spark. They work hand in hand. So when I upload my platform and all of my books to Ingram Spark, when I order that book through Ingram Spark, they send that to their sister company, which is Lightning Source, and then they print that. And I have to tell you, the print quality is beautiful. They really do a nice job. It's nice, glossy. The paper feels nice. It's very good quality compared to some other people.
Thank you, Angelina Asante. Okay. Some other people. So let's come back. So let's come back to what we are talking about, even though what we are talking about is really linked to it. So how indies has changed the publishing industry, the literary world. Tell me how it has changed. You know, these self-publishing, as you said, 31% of the market is made up of people like us, and there are more and more people. I mean, people are publishing every day. Hundreds
Right.
and thousands of people are publishing every day and they're going the self-publishing route. What has changed compared to the, well, we know traditional is still around, but it's kind of fading away. I don't think it's going to go away or become extinct. But
Right.
what's happening? What are the changes are happening, and what do you predict? Let's be a little bit of a little guru kind of a prophet kind of thing here. What do you see happening in the future?
Okay, so I can tell you right now because of my position and how my book, so I have a very small independent publisher that I go through.
Hmm.
And the deal is I'm kind of in both worlds. I'm in the traditional publishing world, even though there's really not a lot of respect for people outside of New York City. The old literary market, they're dinosaurs. They want all of the authors in the world to have a master's in fine arts. Well, that's just not reality. I have, a background of comedy. I'm not going to have a master's in fine arts. That's just not me. That's not who I am. And that's not who my readers are. So I write pop fiction. That's what I'm considered. And again, there's no respect in the, real legit world of New York, that society there, but that's okay. I don't fit in there. That's okay. The problem is they want to have independent authors. They're
Hmm.
so desperate. I spent the weekend with agents last weekend at a very high profile conference. They are dying. They want good writers. But if you're an indie, basically what the people there told me, all the agents there told me, if you want us to take you on, you're going to have to dump all your social media, dump your name, dump everything. We're going to rebrand you as a brand new author with a brand new name and a brand new platform. They do not want to be associated with indies. Indies are dirty. They don't like it. So what's happening, a lot of those New York Times bestsellers, if they don't come out of the gate in a week or two and wind up on the New York Times bestseller list, their old-fashioned literary house says, we're done with you. People aren't getting 5 book deals anymore. They're getting 1 book, the book has to perform or they're dumped. So I know personally many New York Times bestsellers who are hybrid publishing. So I
Hmm.
think we're going to see that continue as a market trend, and I think that's going to increase.
I,
Um,
s- I
what I'm
see the hybrid happening for some time now because I encourage people to do both traditional and indie publishing. But when they go with, and when we say hybrid, that's what we mean, a mix of both. But when they're doing that contract with a traditional, let's say they go traditional at first and get a publishing contract. The contract sometimes makes it, or most time makes it very clear, you cannot go indie. Everything has to stay with us, that particular publishing house. All the spin-offs benefits, they get the majority. This is what the contract basically states, unless I'm wrong.
So I haven't seen that personally with the authors that I have spoken to about that. And I've
Mhm.
watched a lot of panels and gotten to see a lot of trade shows and meet people. So that has not been my personal experience. However, I would not find it surprising because that's the thing about New York. They want to control everything and they want to dominate everything, but they don't.
Mhm.
Um, Now, I could tell you, as far as series books, a lot of these publishers, maybe the first book takes off and then the second in the series doesn't. Well, that author is going to continue hybrid publishing. And some of those authors are making more money hybrid publishing the rest of it because, those traditional publishers want to give you 10%. As an
Right.
indie, they're making 50, 60% sometimes. Depending on the outlet they use, they could be making 80%. I know authors that handle that on their website. Now, I wouldn't do that because I don't want to be in the book business as far as selling directly to the public. But I
Mhm.
know people who have people download right off their website and they're making a good amount of money.
Mhm.
But it's all social media. They're making social media, and those hybrid publishers, those people have the best success when they're traditionally published first and they've
Mhm.
already made a name for themselves.
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
like Hollywood, these big 5 publishers want the hit right out of the gate. they only give it a week or two, and you've got to put up big numbers, or they don't want to talk to you about the follow-up book.
So what's the formula? What would you say to authors? Because people who are authors, once you have a, well, first to begin is to determine having a good book, whatever a good book means, your target audience, and to be able, like you say, people out of the gate want to have a good book. Everybody wants to be an Amazon bestseller or a New York Times or an international bestseller. How can people get their book ranking and rated and build their credibility and even become a bestseller?
Okay, well, there's a couple things that you absolutely have to do. The first thing, please hire an editor. You have to hire an editor. You need a content editor. Make sure your characters are fleshed out, and make sure that your plot is good, and make sure that you handled everything. My books have chronological issues a lot of the time. I do a lot of jumping back and forth. So make sure you have an editor that can keep track of the timelines. But also, when you've got that manuscript back and you've made the corrections, you also have to hire a line editor or a copy editor who's going to find all the mistakes that someone else missed. But the best thing to do is get a group of 5 people or so and beta readers and have them read, because people pick things up that you don't see. You're so close to the story sometimes.
I tell people that. I tell people that you can't self-edit. You can't self-edit.
So true. It's so true. Yep, I can look at something 100 times and not see, and someone will say, "Hey, how could you miss that?" And it's a glaring mistake when they point it out, but I can, for some reason, I'm so close to it, I can't see. So the other thing, now, if you're talking about an indie, there's a couple of things they're going to want to do. Now, I subscribe to Writer's Digest. I think every author should subscribe to that. They'll get some really good information out of it. There's book awards. So if you've got a solid book, enter some contests. Now, when I entered the FAPA contest, I wasn't on the board. Actually, I don't think I was even a member the first time I entered. But when the social media went out for that, and then the next year, the social media went out for Reader's Favorite, which I didn't even win. I was only a finalist. Once their social media blast went out, my book went to #1 on Amazon in 3 different categories. So the power of social media is really amazing. It can do amazing things. Now, if you want something that's going to get you some national recognition, you want to go, and it costs a little bit of money. This is the unfortunate part about being an author that people don't realize. It's very expensive, but you need to go to Kirkus Reviews. Now, they've been giving reviews for, I think, 100 years. It's been in the business a long, long time. They're very well-respected reviews. So the name of that company is KIRKUS.
I'm on the site. Are you seeing it? Okay. I know of Kirkus Reviews, yes.
Yep.
I haven't tried them yet. But I know of them, yes.
But they're brutally honest, so you better make sure you have a good book if you're going to put it on there. Now, there's a couple of good things that are fun that you can do. You can go to Reader's Favorites, and they will review your book for free. Now, if someone who reviews your book and doesn't like it and gives it 1 star, they don't publish it. You can tell them, unless it's a 4 or 5 star review, they're not going to publish that. So that's a fun way, and they will do a nice blast, a media blast, and it'll be on Facebook, it'll be on Twitter, and you get to retweet that. You get to share that with your friends on Facebook, and that will get you a lot of press too. So, and it's a fun group. I really like them.
So
there's another thing.
Are you seeing this? Are you seeing Reader's Favorites on the screen?
Yep, I'm looking at
it. So you're saying try Reader's Favorites, get a free book review.
Yep, free book review. Yeah, they're wonderful. And then they also have a good book awards program too.
Okay, beautiful. So somebody who is low on budget and they want to basically get a quick idea, professional idea as to how their book is doing, then they can start here and then probably take it up a notch to Kirkus and take their medication and make sure that they're ready.
Yes.
Take their medication, strong medication, because as you said, they're brutally honest. If you can't handle it, make sure you take your heart medication and hypertension. Yeah. And get your box of Kleenex ready. Yeah.
Right, but we're talking major exposure. If Kirkus likes you, you're golden, especially if you're an indie. That's a great way to get exposure.
Right, but either way, still take your medication, because the the shock of seeing it, good or bad, you might be on the floor. So
You might be on the floor.
you might be on
Yes.
the floor, right? Because if it's fabulous, you'll be like, hell, I didn't know I had it in me. Shit, I need to, I need,
Maybe start on the floor. Maybe
yes,
lie on the
I
floor.
think that's a good idea. Start on the floor. Start on the floor.
But that could be a big deal for someone. So Kirkus is great.
Yeah.
There's also something called theauthorshow.com. You can go and do a free radio interview. I think it's a blog interview.
The author show. I'm bringing up all of these things. I'm bringing up all these things, as you say. The author show, yeah.
And they are delightful. They're really fun. That's a fun interview. Very lighthearted. They do, a lot of research on the author. And she also has a book awards program, I believe. Is it
the correct one? Am I on the correct one?
Yep, that's it. Yep. And
Beautiful.
they have a marketing program that's great. I know people who use it. I don't personally use it, but they'll review your book for free. They'll give you an interview for free to promote you, and then you can decide if you want to use their marketing program. But I do know people that use it.
Okay. So let's come back. I mean, I love these resources you're sharing. You're full of knowledge. I definitely have to use you and take advantage of you and take my medication and be on the floor. But but to be, let's say I'm a new author. Okay, there are a lot of people who want to write and they have such great stories to share, and they have written something, it's been edited, whatever, and they say, I'm going at this, I want to make writing my career, I want to be the next J.K. Rowling or better, I want to be the next what's the name of the one that wrote 50 Shades of Grey, those kind of people that get these book deals, deals after book deals. I see movies, the whole shebang coming out of this. How you're talking about starting from slow, the reader's favorite, the Kirkus, take your medication, start from the floor, and then you work your way up, try to get more publicity, use the author show and stuff like that. What else can we tell authors? Because we want authors to really get a lot of information that they can work with to feel confident. What I want people to do, Angelina, is feel confident in what they're doing. And so they just go out there whether or not, and not give up. The key thing is not to give up.
So here's something I'm going to throw out, and there's a reason why I'm doing it. Right now on Amazon, there's 62.5 million books for sale.
Okay, so just that? I mean, that's a small amount.
Just that. Yeah, that's hardly competition for us.
That's right, hardly.
But when you look at that number and you think about all of the books on there, now the top 5,000 books that are on the bestseller list, 54% of those are indie published.
Okay.
So there's a huge, huge dent in the book market made by independent authors.
Right.
Now, the one thing I have to tell people, if you're a humor writer, well, you're in trouble. I'm a humor writer. There's not many humor writer groups around. But if you're a mystery writer, there's a great mystery writers group, MWA, Mystery Writers of America. Look them up if you want, because mystery has a formula. You have to put in red herrings. You have to put in plot twists. You have to put in reversals. I'm not used to that. I write comedy. So if you want to write a mystery novel, you better go to where the mystery writers are and figure out how to do it properly, because you've got a lot of competition. So if you write romance, I have a lot of friends who write romance. There is a formula for writing romance. And you need to go to where romance writers are. Now, there's a wonderful group called Romance Writers of America. Now, I have a lot of friends that belong to that, and they love it. And I went to a conference here in town a couple weeks ago, and it was great. Now, I'm not a romance writer. I did get some great marketing tools from them, but you need to stick to the genre that you want to succeed in. Now, the thing I wanted to tell you about writing with that many other people, I wrote my first 2 books as fiction, and then I thought they were good books. I mean, the one won a national award. It was a funny book. They're good books, but nonfiction is so much easier to sell. So when I had cancer, that book, I mean, it's taken very little effort for that book to sell, because unfortunately, so many people have cancer. So if you want to be an author, I suggest you come out with a nonfiction book
And
It'll
I
be
am a
easier to
non-fiction. I am
write.
a non-fiction author. I can't write fiction. I can't write
Oh,
fiction to save
okay.
my life.
Well, maybe your calling is to be a nonfiction author.
Yes.
Maybe your calling is to explain how to build websites properly and
That's right.
how to take control of your social media.
Media.
Because we need that. We need that. I hate social media. When people go on Facebook and they're like, "Oh, you're all over Facebook." Well, that's because any monkey can operate it. It's really easy. It's got a nice interface and it's very user friendly. So I love Facebook because I hate technology and I can operate. So, building websites and, replying to tweets and I'm horrible. You should see me. I mean, it's embarrassing. Children can operate stuff with an easier time than I can.
But
I look like a fool.
I would stop you there or cut you there for a moment, because it just goes to show, and I want people to take this as a little hint. You are on the board of directors for FAPA, okay,
Yes.
which is a chapter of IBPA. You're an author, you won 2 awards for your books. It doesn't mean to say you have to be the best of everything. Somebody listening to you and they might say, but hold on, she's a publisher, she's a this, she's a that, and she don't even know how to handle social media. That's pretty easy. People, you don't have to be the best at everything. And it's good to admit when you're not, so that people know, hey, I'm good in this. Leave me where I am. I'm okay, but everything else, I am not good at, and I need help with that. So people who may be authors in fiction, don't try to be a non-fiction author, and vice versa. If you're not into romance and you can't say anything flowery and lovely or romantic, don't even bother to go there. Don't try to be a 50 Shades of Grey author if you don't know nothing about the bedroom. Okay? Do not try. It will not work. So I'm liking what you're sharing here, and when you mentioned Amazon, I'm on the Amazon website and I brought up bestsellers, and I'm seeing, they have different categories here, like biographies, literary fiction, and stuff like that. Because I keep telling people to become an Amazon bestseller, and this is something I'm going to be speaking about, I think, next month at a literary festival here in Trinidad and Tobago, where I'm broadcasting. And the categories is a major thing. I mean, nonfiction is such a wide area, genre to be in. It's a sea of fish outside there, and you can be lost. But you have to really target which category, and you have to look for those categories to place yourself in. So if you're in with Chicken Soup for the Soul, that kind of personal development, honey, you're swimming with a lot of fishes and sharks in there. You're going to be lost. So you have to really drill down to those specific categories. One of the ways is to search on Amazon as one of the major marketplace for books, to see where you can really up your game and crawl up the ranks faster by the categories. Yeah?
So, yes, there's a couple things. So out of the box thinking is something that would help people too.
Say that again. I missed that, Angelina. Say that again.
So out of the box thinking. So if you write horror novels and you get a following, like I would say, tell your friends and family, hey, if you buy my book, also buy Stephen King's book. Because by doing that, if people do that enough times, guess what? When someone pulls up a Stephen King book, that person's book is also going to show up as something customers who bought this also bought.
Right. That's
there's silly little things like that you and I maybe wouldn't think of. Yeah. But things like that. Also, I guess Facebook, I know a lot of authors that have a lot of success with those boosted publishing. I guess they're little ads you can buy.
Yeah, boosting ads. Yeah.
Budget, and they'll boost your ad. And I know a lot of authors that have gotten a lot of sales out of that. So if you're going to use Facebook, you should try to target blogs, try to target people who are book reviewers, try to target book groups. There's a big thing now for authors to Skype into book groups. They get to. So you're in Trinidad, so if someone buys your book in California, you can Skype into a group of business women who buy your book and talk to them, and they kind of feel like they've made that personal connection with you, even though it's not really face to face. But that's what people want. Because see, everybody always asks me, "Oh, shouldn't you put your books for free on Amazon?" And I always say no. I don't think it's a good idea. But again, I know authors that put books on there and then they wind up selling all the other books. So for me, it doesn't work. I can't give my books away for free. People don't leave reviews for you when you give it for free. And they also, you don't get paid for it. So to me, I think it's a losing thing. If you want to give free books out to people for reviews, contact professional reviewers, contact blog reviewers, and get some book groups involved. But I don't recommend giving stuff out for free. That's just a personal thing. But it does work for some authors, just not me.
Yes, yeah. You were mentioning something about Skyping in to various groups. Do you have a link to that I can share?
I think it's Skype.com. I have it on my computer as an app in Windows 10. So
Skype.com, but there must be a group in there. Skype.com is the platform on which you do the voiceover, the communication. But how do you know which groups to jump in on?
Okay, so I didn't know they had a search engine. I've never done it that way. So when someone wants to do Skype with me, they'll say, "Okay, let's Skype at this time and meet at this place," and then we phone into each other.
Oh, you mean like a one-on-one? You mean like a one-on-one? Okay. I thought you were talking about like a group.
Oh no, I don't know if I don't know that platform well enough to know if it does that. I guess that doesn't surprise you. I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't worry. That's okay. That's okay. You don't need to be on the floor and take your medication for that.
Oh, thank God. Okay, good. But that's a really cool thing for books, for book groups. They love to meet the author. They love to, why did you have him killed on page 63? Or, they're going to ask you questions you wouldn't necessarily know. Oh, on that note, I should just tell you too, on your webpage for book groups, you should definitely put a link to, so go ahead in a Word document and come up with questions, maybe 20 questions. Right. And when that book group meets, they're going to want to answer those questions. They like to have conversations about the book. And maybe they'll come up with something to ask you that you want to write down. But people love going to an author's website and trying to find, book questions.
Yes, very good.
That's something traditional publishers do. They put that on their site.
I'm on their site here again, FAPA's site, and featuring the book awards. And one of the things I always encourage my clients to do is to enter as many book awards, competitions, etc., that will get them, it builds their credibility and visibility. And it's great to feature these things because it shows authenticity, your expertise, it's been looked at, approved, etc. Tell me a bit about the book awards that you guys have going now. And we mentioned some other places where there are book awards in the previous links, but tell me what's happening with yours, and if there are anywhere else that you would highly recommend, the top 3 places that you would highly recommend for awards and competitions for authors. But tell me first about this one.
Okay, so this one is a national competition. And unlike many other people we know or their organization, we do not do peer awards. So this competition is a blind competition where the board has nothing to do with it. The members have nothing to do with it. All we do, our part is submitting the books. It actually goes to a large group of professors, librarians, we have literature agents, and we've even had movie producers judge our book awards. So they're totally independent from the board and the members themselves. And the reason why that's a big deal is because many of the other people that we know that run book awards, it's not to say that they're not special. It's great. Everyone loves book awards, but they're peer awards a lot of the time. We want, when that sticker slapped on someone's book, we want it to know it means something. So it means something. If you have one of those awards, it does mean something. So we have gold, silver, and bronze. And I have to say, I was on the book awards committee last year, and it's pretty hard to win an award. It's pretty strict. So if you get one of our awards, it's a big deal. Now we have them. I think it's $85 our early bird fee close. It's $85 to enter, and I think I'm not sure. I think it's $55 for an additional category, but it's money well spent. That's the thing about being an author. You have to spend a lot of money in a lot of different ways. This is a really good way to spend money. You asked about another award. Readers' Favorites is great, and they have a nice working workshop the whole weekend. It's in Miami, and that's a really great competition too. So I think those two are, now if you're talking about genre specific, you know, like I know the romance writers do a Roni, and I know that the mystery writers do an Edgar and Agatha, and you know, you want to define what genre you're going to be in, and then go after that award in your genre, because it'll mean more to people in that community.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I see the cost here, and one of the things people might ask is, if my book doesn't win an award, do I still get some sort of feedback, at least for the investment?
No, it depends it depends on the circumstance, it depends on the award. I know that Readers' Favorites, I believe that if you ask them, they will send feedback. So it just depends on the particular award. I know, like mystery writers, I know when you go after one of their awards, they do send you a detailed explanation of why they've selected someone else other than your submission. Right. It just depends. Every contest has its own criteria. But I do know, I love Readers' Favorites. I love FAPA. Both of them do a lot of social media, and they do a lot of blitzes, social media blitz after you win. Even when you're nominated, even when you become a finalist, they do social media stuff. We interview our winners. So if you go on FAPA stuff, like on Facebook, we have a lot of interviews, and Twitter, we have interviews with people that have won. And they're not the board members. We try to promote our members and our winners. We really try not to promote ourselves. We were just in the business to help other people succeed.
Okay. That sounds like a plan. And what are some other places besides Readers' Favorite that you would recommend to authors to give it a go in terms of awards or competitions?
So I know IBPA has the Franklin Awards, and that's very prestigious, and that's a big deal as well. I'm looking at the site now. There should be something about awards there.
I see book award ceremonies.
Okay.
I don't know.
And oh, there it is. That's it right there.
Resources. Where am I? Here?
Oh, it just went to the left. I just saw it. It's rotating. It looks like the screen is rotating. So
oh yeah.
Back here in a second. There it is.
This one? Yes.
Yep, that's it. So the thing is, people want to do their due diligence when they're looking at these awards. We've had to tell people that we are independently juried awards, so that they understand it's a big deal if you wind up winning one of our awards. A lot of these people just take money and say, here's your sticker, and it doesn't really mean anything. So you just do your due diligence, make sure what you're entering. There's a lot of bad people in the world. There's a lot of swindlers, especially when it comes to publishing. You know, one of the biggest concerns I have in this business is the amount of fraud with publishers. And you have that with the book awards too. But with the publishing industry, there's a lot of phony vanity presses, and people are paying them. You should never, ever pay as an author. You don't pay a publisher to publish your book. That is a big no-no. A lot of the time, and then they wind up with these ridiculous contracts, and they find out that they signed away their rights, and it's just a bad thing to do. So you want to get networked into a writing group in the area. Talk to some people. You know, you can go to a book signing. You know, these big time sellers, New York Times bestsellers. You can go to a book signing and say, hey, you recommend a writing group I could go to, or what would be some advice for someone starting out? You need to talk to people in this industry, because I have found authors and publishers want to help other people. They don't want to see them get swindled by some fake publishing company who just takes your money and you don't. Oh, let me give you an example. This is so horrible, but I have to tell you. So I go to these book signings and I sell books for $10, $10, $10. And I have this one very highly educated person sitting next to me. She's a doctor. And she said, how do you sell your books for $10? And I said, well, this one, my cancer book. So I'm going to tell you all listening something I don't normally tell people. So I print my books for $2.50. Okay. And I sell them for 10. This woman next to me almost choked. Now there's a heart medicine moment if I ever saw one. She said, oh my gosh. She said, you only pay $2.50 for your books? I said, yeah. She said, my publisher makes me buy mine for $15. And then she sells them for $25. How many books do you think she sells for $25?
Oh my God, yeah.
She doesn't sell a lot of books. So that's my concern about publishing. People want to be an author so badly that they give money to unscrupulous people and horrible things happen. I would love to see all of the vanity presses go out of business in my lifetime. That's my dream.
Take your medication. Take your medication.
Yeah, because if you're buying your books for $15, guess what? You're paying retail.
That's right. That's right. That's right. But even when you publish on CreateSpace or even on Lightning Source as your PODs, you know, it's you get an author price which is really low.
Yes.
So you could afford to sell your book at $10 or even $15. You know, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. These things are very.
I like the $10 price point.
Yeah, no, 10 is great. 10 is great.
I say, hey, that's a Chick-fil-A meal. It's a Chick-fil-A meal. My book will last a lot longer.
Yeah. That's right. You keep it at a reasonable price, people would buy it from you, because it's like, I mean, what is $10 or what is $5, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Oh my God, Angelina, you shared so much with me this morning. This is absolutely fabulous.
Great.
Yes, I want to thank you, you know, for being here, for sharing so much. I think we went over time, but that's okay. I was coughing in between, so every now and again I muted myself. But but this is absolutely awesome. I think, you know, listeners to the show would get a lot of immense value, and they would certainly know how to really at least get a head start, you know, in knowing how to push themselves out there, how to position themselves. And, you know, a lot of people think that they are great writers, and I don't want to make people feel bad. Yes, you are great writers. We all have great stories, but I think some of us need help in terms of our writing and structuring and stuff. So make sure that you have a team, you have people, or call on me or call on Angelina. You see, I'm saying Angelina. So to give you some advice, yeah?
Yes.
To guide you in the right direction, yeah? And to take you to places that within your specific genre, you know, you would be able to get the kind of feedback. If we don't do poetry, but you do poetry, we can point you in the right direction. So thank you so much, Angelina, for being here, for taking the time, for sharing. I am definitely going to be in touch with you. and I'm sure we will be doing some work together. Besides helping you with your stuff, I'm talking in terms of, you know, the whole publishing and helping persons to really get their books out there. Yeah?
Yes. Thank you so much.